fucking beat. And then...
Bro, you see how people talk to me, bro? Like, yo, they're like, nah, alright.
Bro, I love this guy. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the 0 to 100 podcast. I'm your co-host, Jose. Here we got Keishawn. And our very special guest, some of the most laid-back individuals we've had so far. We got Slack.
Yo. I don't know where I'm looking.
Right here, brother. Yes, sir. We got Whotfisfran.
What's goody?
Yeah. And we got Nox. How we doing?
It's good.
Yes, sir. My first question, this is for all three of them, but I'm going to start with Slack. So, what's it like making music? What got you into music?
Man, I've always been into, honestly, bro, I'm going to be real with you, just listening to music as a kid, bro, with my pops, bro. Listening to, Tupac and shit, all that, old school shit, bro.
Yeah.
And then I started getting older and hearing people making bum ass music, bro. And I was like, yo, honestly, bro, I could do so much better.
I could top that. What the fuck is this making
For
millions?
real.
I could top that. Why can't I make millions?
Exactly. So that's just what got me in the studio, just fucking around and shit.
Yeah, no, we were playing some of your music in the car on the way here, and as I was listening to it, I was like, bro, this is I haven't even heard of this guy until a couple of days ago. This guy's better than a bunch of the people that do that shit today.
You sound like professional, you know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
You sound like you just hop on a track, whatever. It's just get it done, get it going, get a hit going, and
it's effortless.
Yeah.
So what about you, Fran? How'd you get into music?
Are we starting, should I get deep with it, or
That is deep as you want, bro. If you want to shout out people, we had a record last time.
my whole life I've been listening to music. I've been exposed to music my entire life, especially pop punk, punk rock, and emo. That shit is what basically raised me. Listening to My Chemical Romance in fucking second grade, right? So, I'm someone who I have an easy life from the outside, but up here is pretty fucked up. And so there was a point in time where music straight up saved my life.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking I want to do something with music. I can't work no 9 to 5. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I hate desks. I hate listening to people. I've always been like that. So, and then really I went from listening to my brother who would listen to Wiz Khalifa, Kanye West and shit when he was in high school and I was younger, and I would just be hearing him play that shit in his room. And I was doing my own thing, listening to my emo music and stuff, and then when Lil Peep started popping and X and Juice started all coming out, I was yo, they're taking the emo music I grew up with and the dope sounds of Wiz and stuff and making it a whole new genre.
Yeah.
And then I was looking into it, I'm these motherfuckers did this from their laptop.
Yeah.
And also my whole life it was none of these people are from New York. None of these people are from where I'm from. And then Lil Peep turns out he's from an hour away from me.
Yeah.
And I'm yo, that's my hometown hero right there. And then he fucking died. And then all these people Mac, my brother raised me on fucking Mac. I remember Good AM dropped. It was a fucking school night, and my brother had just gotten his car. He's Mac Miller just dropped an album, get in my car, we're gonna drive around and listen to it.
Yeah.
So, we listened to Good AM, and just all that shit, and it was so inspiring me. I'm these people are doing it from their fucking laptop.
Yeah.
And why can't I do that? Why can't I take what's going on up here and bring a meaning to it, you know?
We could resonate with you because we listen to a lot of X and Juice WRLD. Yeah, I put them on.
I was
Juice WRLD. I put them both on.
I was devastated when Juice WRLD died.
And, it definitely.
I fucking cried, bro.
I woke up
Yeah.
to phone calls and texts asking if I was okay because Juice was my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
So he tells me, he was when I found out, the first thing I thought is, where is Keishawn and is he okay? And I was I woke up, immediately found out.
That's how a lot of my friends were when Peep, X, and Mac died, because they all know those were my biggest inspirations. Yeah. X really got me in. I always shout out Peep because I love Peep. I listen to him the most. But when it comes to who I wrote my first ever freestyle in 7th grade to an X beat.
Yeah.
If anything, X was more of an influence on me than Peep. And then I heard Peep after X, and I was holy shit, okay, so X was doing his thing. He came up from a fucked up neighborhood and shit. I can't really relate to that,
Yeah.
And then I heard Peep, and he's okay, he's from where I'm from. He's, has pretty much the same kind of life that I was living, So that's like really where that connection was drawn, and that's why like I tend to shout out Pete more than X.
Yeah.
But if anything, X was a bigger influence.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it in your music, the vibe of the twisted mind kind of thing, and just like emotion. You have a lot of emotion and passion in your music. You can definitely hear it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So Nox, what about you? What got you into music?
So like I used to like when I was probably like middle school, was like doing a lot of skating, and like music was just like always a part of skating, bro. I always had the headphones and type shit, and I would like freestyle with my homies, and like.
He's nice at freestyle.
Oh, right.
Drop some fucking
What's
steps.
right now?
Man.
That
So like,
lunch table shit.
like yeah, exactly, like the lunch table shit. Like we'd be like just skating, like somebody would have like a JBL speaker or some shit, and just be fucking around. But then I was like, like I feel like I got something to say, so like I don't know, like I rapped for a little bit, and then like one time I remember fucking I had a song, and like I remember promoting it and shit. And like some other kid on Instagram had the same exact like beat, because like I used a YouTube beat, so I was like, like it just like discouraged me a lot. And I was like, like fuck this shit, like I'm gonna make my own beats. And then like I had a bunch of people around me that like saw like how badly I really wanted to make beats. I had a homie, shout out Nervous Touch spray painting, like look him up on Instagram, because like kid is fire. He actually gave me a laptop and it had a software on it. Like helped me like start making beats. Like I'm dead broke and shit. Like I'm working a 9-to-5 job, and like we're trying to do shit with the studio to get some bread, but like we're really out here like
hustling,
dead broke. Like so like there ain't no gold chains and Gucci and shit. Like I'm shopping at the thrift store still. Like but he gave me a laptop and I was like, all right, fire, like and just started cooking up. And then me and cycling back up, and like that's when like I really started getting like heavy on it. Drop the game.
What's your fault, bro? Get the case. Get the case.
You keep going. Like,
but like when we linked back up and like he started rapping over it, I was like, we're like, I low key want to actually be a producer. Like I was getting like a better vibe, and I was getting a better like reaction from my beats than I ever was like freestyling or like writing any songs. So I was like, all right, like let me take this and run with it. And like the past like 2.5, like 3 years that I've been making beats, like it's really been like a ride. Like it's shown me like you go through like a lot of shit to find really what like you're good at, like I had to like wean out like all like the bullshit that like I was doing with like the rapping, like not really taking it seriously, then taking it seriously, then trying to find a studio, and like when like I really wanted to be like a producer and be like, like I'm making beats, I'm gonna be the engineer, like boom, I had a studio, boom, I had like people like all of a sudden hit me up, like the manifestation, like the work behind it really like
What inspires you? Who inspires you?
In all honesty, like no corny shit, like my homies, like the most.
Yeah.
Like the people around me, like when I be seeing like how hard like we're all going, like that's better than like listening to like to any like artist that I might not ever even get the chance to like meet or some shit. I try to keep everything realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like my homies are doing shit.
Yeah.
Like all the homies in my studio, like exactly, they like support us, like even people that we don't work with, like other rooms like in our studio, they'll come knocking on our door like, like that shit sounds fire, like it's like family type shit. So like I got a homie, like shout out Sid Troy too, like from the island, like like kid goes hard, and like like I was telling him on the way here, like he does things for me that like you don't have to do. If there's people in his room during his session, he'll be like, this is my homie Nox, like he's got fire beats too. Like, like, it's all love, like, thank you, I appreciate it. But, like, it's all love at the end of the day, like, so it's like, those people, like, they fucking really, it's like crazy motivation when you see the people around you, like, that you grew up with, like, doing shit, you're like, damn, like, I could, like, he's the same as me, like, he lives, like, 5 minutes down the block, like.
So you just take it and you'll be like, okay, yeah.
But I mean, like, there are famous people and shit like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I love, like, boom bap and shit like that.
Yeah, I got you. That's chill. What about you, Sly? Who inspires you?
Shit. That's a really good question, bro. Like, I gotta, like, backpack off him a little bit. Like, definitely the homies around us, like, because we, like, that shit's inspirational, like, it's building from the ground and shit, you know what I mean? As far as, like, artists and shit, like I said, Tupac heavy, like, Biggie, obviously, Wu-Tang, Crazy, all that old school shit, like, Tribe, whatever, like that new shit, bro, like I'm really fucking with like Roddy Ricch, bro, like like that type shit. Roddy Ricch, Nipsey Hussle,
Yo, shout out
100, like,
Quinn. Some
Oh,
dude,
yo.
Quinn. Shout, he's
there's
famous,
some-
but yo, we be
yo.
bumping him heavy.
Yo,
Like,
yeah,
yo.
there's some dude I stumbled upon his song, yo. That shit got stuck in my head. Like that shit was
really?
that ass crazy. Shit like that, yo. Like
Is
I
that
that
the
is.
song you showed me in the car with
Yeah.
the weird ass flow?
Yeah,
That shit's fire. Shit's like
Yeah.
that shit. Like I find inspiration in
Like,
mad
you
different
gotta
shit.
put me on
Like,
there. Yeah.
yo, definitely. Like it's mad different shit. Like there's not like really one person. Like if I hear good shit, like it's good shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
get
Just listen,
inspiration.
it doesn't matter the attention it gets,
Yeah.
it's just how the quality
Yeah.
if it's good or not.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because there are some bumping rappers right now that like just don't get the attention they deserve.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
yeah.
Yo, good music is good music.
Yeah, good music. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many followers
Yeah,
you got. If it's good,
100%.
it's good. You know what I mean? What about you, Fran? Like other than Peep and Axe and Juice,
If we're going more local,
Okay.
definitely my homies.
Yeah.
Like if we want to like get specific, like specifically the song "Tale of Two Summers" on the EP. That was a freestyle I wrote in 2019 with one of my everything on the EP was freestyle. I wrote it. He cooked up.
I
the
can
beat.
attend to that.
He cooked up on the beat, and I wrote it right there. So
For real? Got that. Alright, now
So-
it's a freestyle? Oh hell no.
pretty much the whole EP is a freestyle.
That's crazy.
So basically, Tale of Two Summers, I wrote it after like a really like when I say a shitty week, like for at the time I was 16,
Yeah.
you would not expect a 16-year-old to have that shitty of a week. Like
Really?
within the space of 4 days, I broke up with a girl I was dating for a year and a half. I got fired from my job, and I got cut from the soccer team that I was a part of. And that happened in the space of 4 days. So I was basically just sitting and like, for lack of a better term, I was in my fucking bag.
You want to hear some really crazy shit though?
Yeah.
The same shit happened to me when I was 16.
Yeah, like
Same shit.
it's
I
it's
wasn't in a
fucking-
relationship for a year or anything like that, but I got fired from my job. I worked at a pharmacy and I put the heavy medication in a regular ass aisle.
You just get people fucked up on the road, yo. Like, I respect that. Like,
Motherfucker
people
was
going back to your pharmacy, like,
Man,
yo,
was that
like,
when you were
get
trying
that.
out for the basketball
Yeah,
team?
yeah. My manager comes up to me. He goes, "Did you put these on the shelves?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "That's some crazy."
Yo, you're putting Molly on the fucking
I'm
micro
sitting here,
shelf,
I'm like, you know,
goddamn.
this is what the RX is for. Meanwhile, the RX is about this big and it's white on a white canvas. So I'm like,
Putting the
Yeah.
so
bottle
I'm
of
like,
lean,
I'm
like,
sitting here and I'm like, yo.
Yeah,
You gotta
so
go.
basically one
You gotta go.
so shouts out Joe. Joe, my homie Joe came over to my house because he was waiting to go to a party and the
Yeah, yeah.
party was like a couple minutes from my house. So I said, yo, if you need like a place to pull up for a little bit, I got the free crib, pull up. And we were joking, we were fucking around, and he was like, yo, you wanna be a rapper? Pull up a YouTube beat. And I found the YouTube beat to Tale of Two Summers. That's the only beat he didn't produce. But he still added crazy shit to it. Like don't get me wrong. Like
It's so fire.
he
Every
changed
beat-
that shit.
every
He
beat-
changed that
every
shit.
beat went hard. You know
yo,
what I
give
mean?
credit to the YouTube people,
Bro,
bro. They be working too.
so-
Like, you know, give them.
So I
Give us some credit.
wrote the whole like I wrote the first half of the song, and then Joe told me he was gonna hop on it. Motherfucker, I'm still waiting for that verse.
Yeah, you heard
Yeah,
that.
you
Yeah.
heard it here,
Heard
Joe.
that.
Um,
You heard
Get
that.
him on it.
You gotta get on the
Get
show.
on
You
it,
know,
Joe.
talk about
And
it.
a couple months passed, and you know I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna finish the song by myself. So I finished it, and then I just had it sitting in my phone for a year.
Yeah.
And then going into the summer of 2020, I showed a couple of my homies, shout out the Kaza crew, they'll know what I mean. Like Sam, Peter, Nolan. Why the fuck did I forget his name? I see these people every day.
You're gonna be tight watching this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
facts,
no,
yeah.
I'm sorry,
This
Nolan,
motherfucker
I
forgot me,
forgot you. And they were like, yo, go record that shit right now.
Yeah.
And he had a studio, and I'd been there once with my brother, and just being around that environment, like, just made me fucking happy, bro. Like, being around other people, like, creatives, and people who just, you know, wanted to make something of themselves, and put a meaning to their words, and maybe show, like, someone else through our music that, like, you can get through shit without, like, doing something crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And so I went in, we recorded Tale of Two Summers, and I booked like a 6-hour session for that.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so we did Tale of Two Summers in like an hour, and then he's like, okay, you still have 4 hours left. What do we do? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, so all right, I'm gonna play some beats and whatever, so, and you just tell me if you like something. And then he played the sample for Bad For Me. I'm like, yo, this beat. He's like, this isn't a beat, this is a sample. And I said, okay, make the fucking beat. And then
Bro, you see how people talk to me, bro?
Yeah.
Like, yo, they're like, nah, alright, take that shit now, bro.
For now.
I'm like, alright,
But
let's
you
just
said, but the crazy part is you did the damn thing. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
told
know.
you to do it,
Yo,
and you just got on it. It was like, I guess I can.
The reason I'm an asshole to him is because I know he could do the fucking
Yo,
thing.
but it's like a
Yeah,
lot
exactly,
different
too.
when there's somebody at the end of the day like giving you money also.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you get that like pull to be like that. Like
Yeah.
I want that.
So
shit right there.
in that session, we did
I'm
Tell
like,
It Two
alright.
Summers. He made the beat on the spot, and then Bad For Me was done by the end of the 6 hours. So we
That's my
got
favorite song on the EP.
yeah,
that shit
that's
goes
what we
hard.
get. And
That
then
goes hard.
That shit go hard.
and then like a week later, he's like, "Yo, I showed the song to Slack." I'm like, "Put Slack on it."
Bro, crazy story. We're on the car right here. Anthony, we're all listening to your music. Anthony, he's listening to the song, he's vibing. He hears sax part, he shoots up, he goes, fire.
Because that shit was hard.
That shit
Like,
was
it's
hard.
like, whoa.
It was, because I was enjoying the song already, and then, like, that verse came on, and I was like, bro, like, I didn't expect this shit to get better, but this shit hits.
It really did.
Yeah, so back to like my inspirations and stuff, like, you know, my friends and, you know, like my family, the whole EP pretty much is a story.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to it without it on shuffle or without skipping any songs, from Rose to the Bad For Me remix, it's a story of like, to that point, the past 2.5 years of my life. So that's like my mental problems, that's breakups, that's like family stuff, like anything that was like fucking with me, anything that like threw me off, or anything that I was thinking about. That EP is basically a story, and it basically walks you through like my mental between like there are 3 relationships that go on in that EP. There's like my freshman year girlfriend and how fucked up that shit was. That's pretty much what like Rose and Bad For Me is about, and then part of Rose, and then part of all of Tale of Two Summers and I'm Not Good With Words is a second relationship that was really good for a really long time, but then some shit just changed and started like fucking up. And then I'm Not Good With Words, which is really the last song on the EP, and then Bad For Me is just the remix.
Yeah.
But I'm Not Good With Words is the whole summer after that, basically all of quarantine, and then me meeting my new girlfriend.
Yeah.
And, you know, me meeting the homies that I'm with now. And, you know, like, so, like, Rose is a really personal EP, and I think just wanting to show someone that you can be that vulnerable and still make something dope and still make something of yourself and not exactly be the most put together person, that's a really big inspiration for me, because that's what music did for me when I was younger. It was like, you're not the only fucked up kid in the world. Like, you could have everything material, you could have a good family, but, you know, some people just get dealt a harder card mentally, you know? Like, some people, you know, like, I have really bad anxiety. I don't know if you can tell I'm shaking during this interview because I'm not used to talking to people on camera,
I
you
am
know?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Like, even recording, like, my first performance, you know, I was in a band for a really long time. You would think I'd be good at performing, but being up there without a guitar and 4 people behind me is a lot different, you know?
Yeah, big ups to you for that, man, because it's already hard to express yourself as a human being just talking to somebody, and you made a whole EP out of it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, big ups to that. And especially you talking about anxiety, but you're up here and you're doing this right now, like, we could all resonate. Everybody has their problems, has their issues going on. And big ups to you, like, you can just speak out and just do your thing.
I mean, yeah, I try to be open about it because
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like to think that, like, not like to think, but they do tend to think because people make them think that they're the only person going through something, or like,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, why do you get nervous like talking to people? Or, like, why do you like? I have my hoodie up and down during this interview. Like, I can't sit or be out in public without a hoodie. Like, I need to have my hood up because I don't like people looking behind me or some shit.
Right.
Like, it's weird shit like that like really gets to people, and like people don't understand that. And it's like, okay, well, here's an entire EP describing what that feels like and how
Yeah.
dark that can get.
That's great. That's pretty lit. Yeah. So, like, this one's for you. What differentiates your music from the rest?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do go hard.
Sorry.
I got this.
Hey, the
answer.
homie supporting you. Like,
Yeah.
This shit does go hard, but it goes hard, and I'm actually like talking about shit too. Like, I can make a song that sounds like a song where they just be talking about bullshit,
Yeah.
and then you actually listen to the lyrics, and you're like, motherfucker's spitting though. Like, he's actually like saying some shit. Like, I think that's definitely, and also like I'm not here to like put on no show like what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about all that. Like, I've always said day one, like, this ain't to get famous, bro. I'm trying to get rich, bro. Like, I don't. Like, for real though, like, that's what it is. Like, I try to, like, make music that I like to listen to, not what everybody else likes to listen to. So, definitely that. Like, I ain't gonna say I'm better than anyone, but that's definitely what separates me from everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to follow any waves. I'm trying to do like.
No, that's good. You should be doing stuff like that. Like, you should. I think you should be making music that you enjoy, that you think is like, alright, this is hot. Like, I'm gonna put this out.
Hell yeah.
Because some people be putting out music that like they're not too sure about, and they're like, it's not right. I don't think people should be doing that. I think people should be putting out like what they think is really good music.
I think that's a problem that a lot of people have. A couple of friends of mine have a problem like that, where like they go to put out a song and they're like, it's really me. Like for them, they're like, this song is me, but I don't know if other people like it, right? And I'm just like, bro, that song goes hard. That's for you. Put that out. And I have a friend who tries to get me to write music, and like I write, but I can't record it because I don't know where to record the music, you know. So like I don't. But I'm like,
bro, come through.
I got it, boys. No, but so like I like for me it's like writing the music and then you go to put it out and you're just like, I should be writing it for me, right? Like, you think that, but then when you go to, like, put it out, you're like, oh, no, I'm not too, like, 100% on this. Like, and that's definitely a block that I know some people have.
Yeah, bro, like, I can, like, Nox can tell you, like, that's, like, my producer right there. Like, bro, I've had to, like, overcome that obstacle of, like, thinking, like, yo, this sounds so different. Like, it's not, why doesn't it sound like everything else?
Yeah.
And, like, yo, it took, like, him and, like, other people telling me, like, yo, you're slack though. Like, you're not everybody else. Yeah. Like, you're making your music. And like, since day one, I've been doing that, but then I lost a little sight of that shit. Like, making so much music, yo. Like, and like, I got like 50 songs that I fucking hate, bro. Like, just sitting on a hard drive, bro. Like, but like, you know, that's just what it is.
Like, yeah, you gotta be comfortable with like we're all the type of people that don't want to follow like a mold. So it's so hard to like be comfortable being different, because like, you know, we're gonna get so much hate. Like, we're gonna get so much like, yo, like, people not rocking with
is he
people.
doing it like this?
Yeah,
why
like,
is he doing it
yo,
like
it doesn't sound like this or it doesn't sound like that. People are so like conformed to it sounding a way. And like, when you break that or whatever, and people start actually being like, damn, like, I do fuck with this.
Yeah.
Like, that, it could be one thing. It could be one thing that one of us puts out, or, you know, something I sent to somebody they might do something different than what one of the homies might do.
Yeah.
So like, being different in our eyes, if it takes 10 years, it takes 10 years, as opposed to taking a year because I sound like little so and so or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or whoever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just the easiest to make fun of. But like,
Yeah.
so like, yo, it's hard, but like, that's why like I'm super like happy that like I have so many homies that do music.
Yeah.
Because like he said, like, it took a lot of people around him just to be like, yo, like, you're slack, you're not whoever.
Yeah.
Like, it was me a lot, cause like, yo, like, hearing these things, I'm like, I am that listener. You know what I'm saying? Like, other than being the producer and stuff, like, I'm also hearing these in like a different limelight. I'm not him. Like, so like, I'm like, bro, like, we're on to something here. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, we are on to, and then, yo, there's times where I'm like, I'm not on to shit right now. And he's like, nah, like, yo, like, this is what it is. Like, I had a time, it was 2 months, I didn't make shit. Like, I wasn't even at the studio much. And he's like, we start cooking up again, and he's just like, yo, like, this is what it is. Like, don't be fucking feeling like discouraged and shit, all this shit. Like, we have, like, it's for a reason, you know? And, like, it's hard, but like, it's those people around you that definitely make it like worth it, you know?
Yeah,
we all
Nox, since
do
you
have
work
to.
with musicians and you work with these, so I haven't seen you help them make their beats. What do you think makes a great musician?
Damn. Yo, like,
These questions are fucking good, bro.
Yeah.
that's a mad good question, only because, yo, like, I'm like mad new to all of this shit.
Yeah.
You know, I only started like going hard with the beats like 2018, like seeing like a bunch of different people, I'd say like for a person to like be able to like go through like the bullshit and get knocked down a bunch and still want to come and like do their music and like really believe in themselves. I see so many people come into my studio and like the first thing that comes out is the phone. They're taking Snapchats and shit like that. Like that's more important to them. The image is more important to them. And being a rapper and having girls and Gucci and whatever the fuck, but they get in the booth and they're like, what do I do now? You know, I had a kid who asked me if I could help him write a song. Like, bro, like, I mean, shit, that's an extra charge if I'm a ghostwriter now. Like, you know, like, and like, yo, like, he was down. You know, like, okay, like, how much? And I'm like, whoa, like, that was a joke. Like, I want people to believe in themselves. Like, yo, he came in and, like, he said, like, he came to my studio with his older brother, and, like, I saw it in his face. Like, he was like, I gotta be here. He hit me up, he came back. Like, I saw it. It's always nerve-wracking, like, getting into, like, a booth and, like, spitting in front of, like, somebody. Even if you know them your whole life, like, it's still, like, nerve-wracking. But, like, yo, he's persistent with it. Like, if you can, like, get through that phase, I think that really makes, like a great musician. Like, you have to get through, like, all, like, that bullshit. You have to get knocked down. You have to be like, yo, like, I'm good. Like, you have to have that mindset. You have to you have to. There's no way around it. And you gotta fucking work hard, bro. Like, this shit does not, shit is hard.
Yeah.
Shit is fucking hard. I got so much to learn, bro. Like, this shit is hard. I'm like, fake it till you make it type shit. Like, I didn't know what I was doing when I was telling people, like, yeah, I'll book you. Like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I'm an engineer. Bro, like, it's like, I'm looking up on YouTube, like, right before they pull up to my spot. Yo, how do I do, like, mix this, that, and the other thing real quick? Okay, write it down real quick, slip it, like, underneath my thing, and when they're sitting behind me and shit, looking at the TV, I'm, like, looking down and like, okay, where do I do that? Like, yo, like, I don't fucking, yo, yes. That's the answer every time. Yes. Yes, I can do that. Yeah, yes, I got a camera in there. Fucking, I'm a photographer now. Yes. Like, I want to be a one-stop shop. Like, I want you to be able to come to my studio and get every single solitary thing that you need.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have like the knack that a lot of producers have where you can just tell when it's like when like the person has like that
I don't know.
special quality?
Only
I
because
don't know. I think that's how it was with Bad For Me. We both heard Bad For Me and we were like, fuck.
Yeah.
like I want to say that like I would like to like let like numbers be able to tell you that answer.
Yeah.
But like right now, all of the artists that I work with, nobody has really that type of internet presence. Nobody has like a real, you know, fan that's reaching out to us and shit like that. Like, yes, we might have fans and stuff, but if we do, they're like low key for right now. Like, I work with like a lot of like local artists that are just trying music out, as well as like the people that like the immediate people that I work with, you know. But I would like to say that like if a song did really well, where it went viral or it did something on TikTok or something like that, then I'd really be able to be like, okay, like I think I have like that it factor where like I can tell when I make something like, yo, this is gonna be it. But right now, in all honesty, like, it might sound cocky, but I think every single thing that I make, like when I start making a song with somebody, it's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, shit's hard. Like, yo, like I'm in it. Like,
No, you definitely gotta have that.
I
Yeah,
think that's a really
exactly,
good mindset
like-
to have for making music.
yeah, like you gotta have that confidence, man. Like it's BDE.
I'm gonna ask this
Energy.
question to all three of you guys, but I'm gonna alter a little bit because you're like a producer. So, what's the worst part about being a producer? What makes you like the most uncomfortable sometimes being a producer?
Yo, people be on my ass like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I understand. Like I said, like before, like when people give you money, it changes like the game like completely. I was doing a lot of shit for free at first.
Yeah.
Like hooking people up, like yo, just come to the studio, come get this beat, this, that, and the other thing, whatever. Like doing deals, and then you know, certain people got comfortable. Certain people, you know, certain people just like want so much. You know what I'm saying? Like they want you to go like that extra mile when like yo, sometimes you're just trying to like, you know, record it and, you know, give it back to them and let them do whatever. Because most of the time, like I don't really go further than like a quick mix after I record the song. Like I'll throw like a little mix on it just so that like it doesn't sound like completely raw. But like when it comes to mixing and mastering, I usually let the person like leave it and they like handle that with another producer or engineer or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, just because I'm still, like, in the mix of, like, learning a lot, too. So, you know, like, while I'm doing that, like, depending on the person, if it's one of my homies or whatever, I do it. And if it's somebody, then like they outsource it and they just pay for like my studio.
Yeah.
They come and record and shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, a lot of people are very aggressive
Yeah.
with like what they fucking want and
Yeah.
shit. And I've come across like a couple of like crazies.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of people. Remember that guy that wanted to fuck with that?
Some dude was starting to kill him over like a cancellation or
Yeah.
some shit.
I canceled with the dude 3 hours early, and he like didn't read the message, and then like at the time that we scheduled it for, he like just pulled up and was like, "Yo, like I'm here, I'm outside and shit." I don't even think he was really there or whatever, cause like I went outside and was like, "What is good?" But he was bugging the fuck out. I was like, "Yo, like." Yeah, like shit.
You don't know. It don't matter no more.
I mean, yeah, you come across
Yeah.
all sorts of people in the artistic world. You know?
Yeah.
Bro, to be an artist, you gotta be crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
Oh yeah,
You have to-
100%.
You have to have that switch.
You,
like, that's
you
your
have
mindset.
to you have to be fucking insane to be an artist, because like basically piggybacking off of your question, I assume you were gonna say what's the
Yeah.
hardest part about being an artist, right? Like, you have to be fucking crazy to think that anybody is gonna take the time out of their day to support you. Like, you know, you gotta earn that shit, and you know, coming from like an environment where people are so hooked on like what's popular and shit, when you're doing something like we are, where, you know, we're not dressing in like, you know, the fucking popular clothes, and like we're not, you know, doing the shit that everybody wants to hear, like what's on the radio and shit, and we're not like the most, I wouldn't say we're not approachable people, but it's not like, you know, we're not, or I can't speak for them, but I know I'm not getting invited to like any football parties anytime soon and shit.
Yeah.
And that's where like most of the people are listening to music and stuff like that. Like, so I think hardest part about that is like fake, I call it fake love, and I mentioned it on the EP, like, you know, because you'll tell somebody you drop something, they'll post it for a day, they'll leave it up, and then it's radio silence for fucking months.
Yeah.
Like,
After
you know,
that initial hype is just.
yeah, like you get initial hype, and then, you know, obviously there are people who stick by you. You know, I have a lot of people who still like listen to my shit, and they hit me up every so often. You know, when dropping next and shit like that, and I appreciate that. That keeps me going. And then there's the people who post it and they're like, "Go support the homie." Motherfucker, I sent this to you. I have not spoken to you in 2 years. I sent it to you on Snap just because you were in my Snap, and you posted it. All right, you calling me your fucking homie? Like, you don't check up on me. You don't even know that I just went through 3 girlfriends. Like, you know, like, it's shit like that I think is like really hard. And then just also trying to like keep an image up, not keep an image up, because like Slag said, like, you know, what you see is what you get, but like, you know, trying to keep a presence, you know, like trying to let people know, like, hey, like, I know the music hasn't dropped, but I'm posting on Instagram still, I'm active on my story every day, you know, like, I'm trying to keep people engaged while also trying to work on my craft, which is not easy to do.
Yeah, it's definitely not. What about you, Slag? What's like the hardest part, the worst part about being a musician?
Man, probably like writer's block, yo. That shit sucks.
I know
I
what
feel
you're
so
saying.
bad.
I didn't even think of that, holy
Yo,
shit.
Writer's block.
Writer's block is such
and
a
like
bitch.
the thing is, like, my writer's block is different, and like again, Nox can fucking like, he could like let you know, like, I always write something, but like it'll be like ass, bro. Like straight.
Bro, we
ass,
went through
man,
this
like-
shit like last night.
Yeah, bro. Like I'll sit there and write literally 3 songs within like
It
2
wasn't
hours.
ass, by the way.
Like,
it was not ass. We made a whole
Like,
song last night. It was gas.
Yeah, nah, one of them slapped.
I believe it. I believe it. Let's
Like
go.
that shit, it sucks. Like just like, that's definitely the worst thing. Is making the whole song and then like, an hour in making the song, you're like, yo, I'm not feeling this shit. Like this shit sucks. Like let's go to the next one. Like, but, you know, until like we keep going until we find that one, and then like that's when the good music comes out.
Yeah. What kind of? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say, like, last night he also came like to like what is that word? Like an epiphany.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, not to like try so hard. Like sometimes that can like fuck you up too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
You can stress over it too much.
yeah, like sometimes I be like all day long I'm at work, I'm thinking about beats and shit like that. Like, yo, I got like a melody in my head, or I'm gonna do this, that, and the other thing. I get home and I'm trying so hard to like recreate what I was thinking about that I'm like, I hit one key, it's not what I want. I'm like, fuck this. Like, I'm done making beats. Like, fuck this shit. I like close the laptop and I'm out. Like, yeah, like just right from the jump.
0 to 100.
Like, yeah, literally, bro. Like, it's like you have to go and sometimes just being like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
it's music, bro.
Yeah.
There's no fucking rules. Like,
Yeah, that just reminded me. You said it was like not going too hard, not stressed. It's something I was talking to him on Instagram on our page, and it was about we were originally supposed to record this last week,
yeah,
but because of scheduling and everything, we couldn't get it. And I told him that, and he said, "Don't stress." Now I don't know if you meant that as in like you could tell I was stressed or anything like that, but that actually really helped me out.
Nah,
it's
bro,
like, don't
'cause
stress it.
Yeah, like,
'Cause I was
that's-
stressed. I was freaking
I know
out.
I'm
worries,
someone
like-
who's always like, you can probably hear it when I start talking. Like I'm going a million miles a minute. Like my mouth is always running, my head is always running. Like, and like my girlfriend can tell you this. Like I'm always go for like weeks on end, and then because of like my mental shit, I just crash, right? And then I need to be alone for like days at a time, right? So whenever I feel like somebody is like, I'm gonna say pressed, but I don't mean like angry. I mean like they're like, they feel like, they're stressing over something, especially if like it's something with me, like, it's like, listen bro, like I'm flexible, like, I understand that shit comes up with me. Sometimes it's not even actual shit, sometimes I just don't feel like leaving the crib.
Yeah.
So like, it was
I
like,
felt that
even
Yeah, I agree. That's a move
even
right
with
there.
this interview, even with this interview, bro, my girlfriend like, in the most lovingly way possible, cursed me out because I was like, nah, I'm getting anxious. Like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, I've never been on camera before. Like, I've never like actually spoken and been put on YouTube. And my girlfriend was like, no, fuck you. Like, you've had this plan for so long. Get the fuck out of your house. Get the fuck out of your head. Go.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know I needed to hear that. And now we're doing this shit.
Hey, shout out to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Shout out to the girlfriend.
as much as she drives me crazy, she keeps me going, bro.
Yeah.
Like, keeps me in check.
I feel like that's like a big thing with people now. Like stress and anxiety like really holds people back from their full
Especially
potential.
with fucking COVID, bro. Like
Yeah.
I know it was hard because I'm out so much to distract myself. Like if I don't have something to do, I'll find something to do.
Yeah.
Especially now that I
Yeah.
just got a car, like I will find something to fucking do if I don't want to be home and just sitting by myself.
Because you don't want to be like in your thoughts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when COVID happened, I didn't really have an option. So I kind of had to just like lock myself in my room and become my own best friend, which when, you spend 17 years of your life hating yourself, it's like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to spend that much time with myself. So it kind of taught me in a sense in like finding peace and like beauty in being alone too. So when I do crash after going, I'm now able to tell myself like, you need to take a break.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna wind up flipping out on your mom, you're gonna wind up flipping out on your sister, on your friends, on your girlfriend, you're gonna fuck up all your relationships because that's what you did in the past because you didn't know how to take a fucking break. So now it's like, okay, communicate with people around you, communicate with your friends, communicate with your girlfriend, communicate with these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You just can't like
Bro, I love this guy.
you can't force yourself past a certain point. Like burnout is a real thing. Mental burnout is a real thing, and that kills people. Like it's sad to say, but it's like you have to take a break sometimes.
Yeah. All right, so this is gonna be the second and last question because believe it or not, it's been like 50 minutes.
No shit.
But so for you two, it's like you first. What kind of audience are you trying to contain? What kind of people do you want to listen to your music?
Man, it'll probably sound corny, but like real motherfuckers
Yeah.
that like are not trying to bullshit, like no rat shit, no snake shit, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like people that just like need inspiration, bro, and like just wanna like vibe, bro. Like try to make like just vibe music. That's what it is, you know what I mean? Like whatever vibe you're in, like I want you to be able to like fuck with my music. So I'm trying to get people that are like in the same like zone.
Like
you know what I
open-minded?
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to go like play shows to thousands of motherfuckers that are just like me.
Yeah,
you know what
vibe,
I mean?
and you can
So,
chill,
just straight
rap
vibe,
and
man,
after, you know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah,
Like we're
yeah,
all
yeah.
just like chill ass people. Like no one's even screaming in the crowd. Everyone's just smoking weed and shit. Like bro, it's kind of dope, bro. Like
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be the best kind of show.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out. They already bought tickets.
I'll buy a ticket right now. You told me the price.
Shit, I'll be
I'll book
vibing
it.
at that place.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could say to an extent the same thing as Slack. Like, I know when we just recorded another song that hopefully is gonna drop soon.
Mm-hmm.
But when we recorded that, I had someone hit me up and they were like, yeah, yo, like I'm an unsigned I'm an unsigned person for like Atlantic, and I think I could help you with your song. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And we did a Zoom call. They showed me how they think the song should be structured or whatever, and I valued the knowledge. I appreciated what they were saying, and they go, okay, so who are you trying to make music for? Like, because the industry doesn't like this, they don't like that. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop you right there, bro. With all due respect, I'm not making music for motherfuckers in suits.
Yeah.
Okay.
No 60-year-old man in
Like,
corporate.
I have spent my entire life listening to motherfuckers tell me how I'm supposed to cut my hair, how I'm supposed to dress, how I'm supposed to talk, how I'm supposed to act a certain way. I need to represent a certain thing if I want to be respected. Absolutely not. Fuck that. Fuck you if you think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, abhorrently fuck you. Like, so I want people that are just like me. People going through the same shit as me. People that can, when I was little, I would watch My Chemical Romance concert. I'd be like, wow, I want to play stadiums, right? Like hundreds of thousands of people. And then I started getting into more like the underground shit, like even underground punk, not even just rap, like underground punk. Like shouts out Long Island band Run for the Whales. And then, I met a bunch of people at Zoomies. Shouts out Kennedy, shouts out Sachi, shouts out Kill Me Someday, shouts out Lil Reed. Those are all local Long Island artists who were doing their own thing. I actually met Kennedy at Zoomies. We worked together for a little while. And now they're in LA doing their own thing just based off of the fact that they made music for people like them and for people like us. And so, I would rather play a basement show with 20 people going hard as fuck, singing every word to me, than a bunch of fucking, people in Vineyard Vines who just wanted to go to a 100,000 sold out concert to say that they went.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up right now. Before he asks his last question, any plugs you guys want to do? Real quick, any plugs, anything you guys want to promote?
Oh, yo, I just want to say, shout out Rockwood. Like, shout out, that's all our homies.
Shout out
Alfonso.
Rockwood.
Yo, hold on.
Big
Shout out
love, big
Alfonso.
love.
Shout out Skate J. Shout out Larry B, Boy, Dave, fucking Wilbo, fucking. I hope I'm not missing anybody else. I'm sorry I'm on the spot right now because I'm on
They
camera.
know
But
who
like,
they
all
are.
y'all know who you are, yo. You
Really.
guys really made like everything like for real possible. If it wasn't for like those guys over at Rockwood, like I really honestly feel like none of us would be sitting in these seats.
Yeah.
Like they really helped us out. So shout out to everybody over there. Like we love you guys.
I'm a plug real quick though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Definitely,
Yeah, I'm gonna plug too.
Definitely,
Yeah.
First,
I'm a two.
if you need any like studio time or anything, definitely DM one of us too because we share that.
At
studio.
Santino Nox on
Yeah,
Instagram.
Slack X Youth, you know what I mean? And also my music on iTunes for some reason, like my name used to be SLQK, so if you can't find me, Slack, whatever, just type in SLQK, you'll find me wherever.
You should be able to find that. I found that like.
You'll
Yeah.
find
I found that like 3 days
If not,
ago.
just follow me on Instagram or whatever, you'll find that shit.
So-
We'll put links in the description.
So yeah, like plug my Instagram at whothefukisfran, plug my Twitter at whothefukisfran1. Shouts out pretty much everybody who I spoke about before, like Peter, Sam, Nolan, Noah, my girlfriend, all their girlfriends who I've known longer than them, some of them, I just got a new like band started, so I'm doing this and I'm doing the band now. So shouts out CJ, shouts out Dom, at Noseblunt LI, that's the name of the band. And honestly, shouts out to all those like local rappers who I shouted out before. So Kennedy XOXO, Instagram is at Diet Codeine. Shouts out Sachi6, shouts out Kill Me Someday, shouts out Lil Reed. All those people inspired me so much because I saw people from my neighborhood and from around me doing my shit or doing their shit, and then that inspired me to do my shit. And just, shouts out everybody, like, shouts out you guys, like, fuck, like, shit, like, thank you for the opportunity, bro. I'm grateful for every opportunity that I'm given because nothing in the artist world is promised. So any opportunity I get, I fully appreciate. So thank you guys. Also, shouts out Fernando for like
Editor.
Yes, sir. Edit this well. Edit this well, Nando.
This wouldn't have happened if I didn't hit up Fernando.
put him on the spot. You forgot last week's episode, Nando. What's up now? Yeah, what was that
All right.
question?
So what would it take to get the four of us on a song? Us three and you producing.
Fucking just come through.
A trip to Long
Yeah,
Island.
fucking come
We
through.
all live on Long Island, so like what's good?
So,
So all right.
pull up to Rockwood.
Say no more. You already heard.
Coming soon.
It's coming soon. It's coming soon.
Everybody, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all next week for the next episode. Make
Shouts
sure to check
out
them out.
Hiatus, bro.
We out.
See you tomorrow, bro.